Welcome, welcome, welcome. Another Wednesday, and that means Fade the Deuce. I'm Ryan Schroet, joined as always by Kevin Duce and our favorite Texan, Matt McCumber. What's up, Matt?
Yeah.
So, a very eventful last weekend for both of you, which is good. I mean, impressive, of course, Kev. But Matt, I think your best season so far, season 3 here of Fade the Deuce. You're
right.
I'm showing that you're not just a cricket, a horse racing god in the gambling world. You do college football as well.
That's right. I still got some work to do, but I'm officially over 500 at 19-16 on the year, and looking for another good week this week. 4-2 last week.
So
it would have been a good week to follow the both of us, Ryan. As Matt went 4-2, I went 5-1. So, those are. I mean, the only one Matt probably picked with his heart where I didn't, where it was the offshoot, is that Ohio State, Illinois. Like we covered it on the show, I was impressed with the fight in our guys. They just can't turn the ball over 4 times. They don't turn the ball over 4 times. They probably stay within the number. So,
yeah, yep, and still had a chance at the very end to cover as well. So, Now we'll start with you this week, Kev. We're gonna go to the SEC. There's a few, 3 or 4 good matchups, but we'll start in Nashville with LSU and Vanderbilt. So Diego Pavia and Vandy with their first loss of the season at Bama, and then LSU is kind of been a team that maybe not scoring a lot some weeks, but they get the job done. I mean, last week I wasn't really impressed with quite a bit of the game. So Vanderbilt 2.5-point favorite at home. We'll start here with you, Kev.
All right, both teams coming off a bye week. For me, with these teams, that means the opportunity to set up your defensive game plan. Trying to think of the LSU's defensive coordinator. It's Blake Baker. Done a great job at LSU. And if you look at LSU's totals when they're playing Power 4 teams, these games are in the 20s or teens, 17-10 against Clemson, 20-10 versus Florida. LSU is not really shown the ability against Power 4 teams to score a lot of points, but they've shown the ability to keep scores down. And I think that they're going to come out in the first half with a game plan against Pavia that's going to slow him down. I think that Vanderbilt can score enough. This number's a little odd to me because it's obviously at Vandy, so that changes things quite a bit. If this game was at LSU with that home field advantage, I think the number would be closer to LSU -7. I think it's that big of a swing playing in Death Valley. You just look at LSU: 23 points against Louisiana Tech, 17 against Clemson, 20 against Florida, 19 against Ole Miss, 20 against South Carolina. I think it's the same thing. It's the same model. I got this number sitting at 47.5 for the over-under. Over-unders have been really good to me this year. I'm going to comfortably this game hits the under. I don't really have a read on who's going to win this game or what it will hit on the spread. It's 11 a.m. game. I think they're going to come out. Defense is firing. Offense is trying to figure themselves out. Matt loves to jump on first quarter, first half lines. That's something I would look at as well, but I'm going to stick with the under 47.5.
Yeah, I love that. I think this is a 21-17 game or somewhere around there. That's a really good call. I look at this game. Here's a couple crazy stats. Vandy, first time favor versus LSU since 1948. Vandy, 176 straight games as an underdog versus ranked teams that they're not now. And that dates back to 1947. Okay. First time favor versus another ranked opponent since 1978. All these dates we were not, well, I don't know. Kev, you weren't born yet, were you?
I was born in 78, so I might have squeezed in that one. Probably was.
Okay.
September 78. So
it was in October of 78. But this just tells me Vegas knows something. And I'm going to go with Vegas here. I'm going to take Vandy -2.5. As Kev alluded to, yes, both coming off bye weeks. I think both will be ready. Both will be healthy. I lean on Vanderbilt just for their ability to score more points than LSU and Nussmeier. Nussmeier, he hasn't thrown one game over 300 yards yet this year. Came in the year, top 3 in Heisman talk. He just really hasn't impressed me. They haven't really been able to move down the field efficiently, and he's 2-4 as a starter versus ranked teams, with 10 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. He's giving the ball away a lot. Vandy comes in the nation in 43 points a game here, second in the SEC, only to another team we're going to talk about here a little bit. They've got number 10 LSU this week. They got 16 Missouri at home next week, and then they're at number 21 Texas the following week. So if they're going to have any type of push, they know they've got to win this game. And LSU ranks 124th in points per quality drives. Again, they might have a quality drive, pick up a couple first downs, but they're not scoring at the end of those drives. They're just not being able to put up points on the board. So I'm going to take the team that can score more efficiently and effectively. And I think you got the better QB in Pavia here at home. So give me Vandy, the Commodores, -2.5.
All right. I love it.
For the second matchup on our docket today, we're staying in the SEC. We're going to Ole Miss and Georgia. Now, Georgia really, really kind of weak first half against Auburn, and then really weak first half against Auburn.
17-0. Jackson Arnold doesn't fumble.
Absolutely.
And then Auburn they're doing what they do with Hugh Freeze. They just don't show up really in the second half. So Georgia goes on the road and gets a win there and at Auburn. And then Ole Miss, really, I'm going to be honest, Washington State could have easily won that game.
This was a look-ahead game for Ole Miss last week.
I was about to say, because I'm thinking, and if they would have lost that game, there would have been a bunch of SEC defenders coming like, it was just a trap game. It's no big deal, By the way, the same Washington State team that North Texas beat 59-3 or something like that. Anyway, so Ole Miss, they gotta get that back. They got to get that mojo back. They looked really good the first 5-6 weeks of the year. So they're going to Athens. The Dogs are a 7.5-point favorite here.
Yes.
So Matt, we'll start with you here. Do you think Ole Miss gets that Kiffin magic back, or is Georgia just going to be too tough at home?
So I look at this game like we kind of alluded to. Ole Miss definitely looking ahead last week. Did not have their best. I think that is a wake-up call for this team that is 6-0 and undefeated. This has huge college football playoff implications for both teams here. Georgia loses, their second loss of the season already, halfway through the year. And, Ole Miss is obviously still in it with just one loss if they're not able to lose. I think Ole Miss loses this game, but I think they cover the number 7.5. UGA on defense, this is not the defense of old. Half their defense is in the NFL now. They've lost a lot of talent and to their own. I mean, it's just what happens there. But they are 124th in the country in creating havoc on defense. They've only got 6 sacks in 6 games. They are, 106 in tackles for loss. They're just not getting to the quarterback. And Ole Miss quarterback Chambliss, he didn't start the first 2 games of the year. He came in for injury. He's been unbelievable and actually has shot up some of the Heisman talk here. He's got 7 touchdowns and 1 interception and is 4-0 since he's been inserted into the lineup. I like this 7.5 under 7.5 for Ole Miss because they can score. I think they'll be able to score, maybe not as efficiently as they have in the past, but this is a Georgia team that's given up some points. They gave up 21 in one quarter earlier on. It's eluded me who it was, but I like Lane Kiffin to come back. Yeah, I think Tennessee. They gave up 21 points in one quarter this year. Gunnar Stockton, his depth of targets per play when he's passing the ball, 6.8 yards. They're not going downfield. They're keeping the ball, relatively close to the line of scrimmage here. Give me the better playing quarterback right now in Chambliss. Now, this will be his first true road start, so I'm a little wary about that. But I like Ole Miss to keep it interesting here and be able to score. And I think they're refocused after a bad effort last week. So I'm taking Ole Miss plus 7.5.
Cav, before you go here, did you put money on Western Michigan?
I did not.
42-0 they beat Ball State last week.
Yeah.
So Western Michigan, we did say Western Michigan might be the best team in the MAC.
I hope they win.
They get Miami of Ohio this weekend. I think that'll be the tail right there. So, your pick, Kev. Sorry.
Yeah, they get them next weekend. I think they're off this weekend. I agree with everything that Matt said. The other number that really intrigues me here, guys, I'm loving totals. They're working in my favor lately. The under 54.5. It seems like a really big number. We get it late in the season. Vegas seems to adjust. Joe's love overs and favorites here. I think this is a classic game of the under and the dog here. 7.5 points is just too many. Now, Ole Miss, one true road game I think so far this year was at Kentucky. They won 30-23. Kentucky's not very good, so I don't really know what to make of that. How much is that going to factor in? Chambliss playing on the road between the hedges. I'm gonna stick with the total here. I worry about Georgia getting a defensive score or something, even though, like Matt said, they don't create havoc. But I worry about Chambliss playing in that environment. I think that Ole Miss's defense is good enough to slow Georgia down. Like Matt said, Gunnar Stockton's average air yards 6 yards, which is ridiculously low. Give me the under 54.5.
Okay, I like that too.
Yeah, you haven't been picking the teams. You've just been picking the overs and unders.
I would pick Ole Miss in this one too. I mean, that 7.5 is. I love the hook there, right? I really love the hook.
Yeah,
I love the hook in a game that you could see 27-20, right? St. Dominic's Rosary, Ole Miss money line. The only problem, man, in Athens game day, Georgia seems like might be one of those teams that just finds a way to step up against better teams. I don't know. How they beat Tennessee is still beyond me.
Yeah, Tennessee choked, man. Tennessee choked. And now, speaking of the Volunteers, they've got a game here. They've got a tough schedule themselves. We got Tennessee, Bama. The game's in Tuscaloosa. 7.5 point favorite for the Crimson Tide here. This loser is on their second loss of the year, so they'll be all their get out of jail free cards will be done for the CFP after this game.
Most likely. I think both these could have a little bit of wiggle room if they pull out a win, but yeah, most likely.
I think Bama's got more rope here, but yes.
Yep.
Man, Missouri had a big chance against them last week, but anyway, I digress. So we'll start with you, Kev. Tennessee, Bama, Tuscaloosa, 7.5. This game's been last couple of years. I believe they split. So I think Tennessee beat Bama in Knoxville. So we'll go with you, Kev. You'll start here.
Well, this one is like I'm kind of the opposite. The last one here is Tennessee 31 points given up to Arkansas. Now, granted, Arkansas is a good offense. 34 given up to Mississippi State. Game went to overtime. 24 given up to UAB. 44 to Georgia. Now you got arguably the best quarterback in the country right now from a pure passing standpoint, just passing yards and passing statistics. Ty Simpson's like best in the country right now, and I don't think that I think Bama's defense is not. This is not Nick Saban's defense. There isn't some of those guys that are wreaking havoc in the NFL, but there's still a pretty good defense, and they slowed a good Missouri offense down enough at 24 points. I think Tennessee's offense is maybe a little bit better, but I don't know how Tennessee keeps Alabama from pushing the 40 number here. Like their defense is just not good, and they're going to try and play. They're probably going to play some tempo. It might turn into Alabama's hands. I like SDR's pick, Bama by 2 touchdowns. The number's like 58, 59 and a half, something like that. It's a little bit too rich for my blood to take the over when I'm leaning on a high-scoring game. But I'll tell you this. I'm going to take the Crimson Tide at home, laying the 7.5. I think Bama wins by 10 or more.
Man, Kev, we are in sync right now because everything you just said, I'm totally with you. I am taking the over here at 59 and a half. Okay. You might want to check that number. I don't know if it's gone up, but if it's gone up to 60 or 60 and a half, I'm still taking the over. Tennessee has allowed 31 points in at least every SEC game they played. You kind of mentioned that. They are only Arkansas in the SEC ranks lower than them in all major defensive metrics. To Kev's point, this is not the Bama defense of old. I think they run both up-tempo style offenses here. I think Alabama is going to get out to a sizable lead here, maybe a couple early 2 touchdowns, maybe 14-3, somewhere around there. And it's Tennessee trying to play catch-up. But I don't think Alabama's taking their foot off the gas pedal here. They know that metrics count in the college football playoff. Tennessee 6-13 against the spread, last 19 versus Bama, and 0-10 straight up. I was leaning Bama 7.5. I agree with St. Dominic's Rosary. I think this is 13-plus point game. Bama secondary, the only thing that scares me about the over, they're 6th in the NCAA, only allowing 127 yards per game passing. Very, very good back there. But you've got a really, really hot quarterback in Ty Simpson, 16 TDs, 1 interception. I'm going the over. Do you have an official number on that?
Yeah, it went from 58.5 to 59.5, Matt. So you're right there.
Okay.
Hey, Matt,
give me the over 59.5.
I'm gonna give you some context here with Alabama's passing defense. It's gonna make you feel better. Florida State's not a really good passing team. Wisconsin can't pass. Georgia, you've already covered 6 average air yards. Vanderbilt, they work. Pavia is not down the field. He's working off his legs. And Missouri's their strength has been the whole year. So I don't know that they haven't faced any kind of passing offense like Tennessee. So I lean with your over there as well. So like that.
Okay, great. 59.5. Book it.
Done. Sharpie. So the first matchup this week that's not in the SEC, but it's a good one. It's a fun one. We're going to go to old South Bend, and we're going to have the old Trojans and the Irish back in Notre Dame. And I saw a little clip of Matt Leinart taking a snap at the 2 and getting the push, right? And he's like, it didn't work this time, but then I roll out this, and then
Indianapolis.
And then
that's
Mark Sanchez, dude. That ain't
I'm kidding.
Matt, on Keeping Orange and Blue last week, he said that. He goes, well, Matt Leinart's in jail for stabbing a guy. I'm like, no, that's wrong USC quarterback. So the first tush push, one of the first pushes that created a trend of the running backs coming to help push the quarterback. And Brady Quinn, of course, who was Notre Dame's quarterback at the time, was like, throw the flag. He's like, that's illegal. You shouldn't be able to do it. And then so this will be a fun one. Now, Jaden Mayava, who is one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the country. He's actually the number 1 passing quarterback in the Big Ten by like 20 yards over Luke Altmaier.
One less game.
Yes. And Notre Dame, high-scoring offense. I will say this, though. Their defense is very susceptible. Purdue put 30 on them, and they've shown that they can get beat through the air. Texas A&M had a field day. But USC's offense here, it's 9.5. So, is we're going to start with you, Matt. Is that too many points, 9.5? because USC's defense, even though it was against Bryce Underwood in Michigan, and they got their guy Ramsey back last week, who missed the Illinois game. It looks like he made a little bit of a difference. That could help them as well. 9.5 is a lot of points, especially against USC, who you know is going to be scoring.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think it is too many points. I love this game. This is old school. This takes me back Reggie Bush days, Matt Leinart, like we all talked about, Brady Quinn.
And that's when we were young, man. We were in our early 20s.
Yeah, I was gonna say high school, about to be in college, and I was just immersed in college football. And I'm glad they're playing these games, but you hear all the hate on USC when they got to travel, especially to the Eastern time zone. They haven't been good. They haven't been covering. 1-6 against the spread in their last 7 on the road. That doesn't bode well for them. But I think hopefully they did last week during their bye week. They got healthy and they kind of retooled some things on their defense and held to your point, Michigan's not airing it out, but held a ranked Michigan team to only 13 points, showed a lot of improvement from the Illinois game as far as their defense goes. I just think 9.5 here is too much with a team that can score like USC.
Makai Lemon, by the way, Makai Lemon has to be brought up. He is special, dude. Like he is.
Yeah, I mean they got 2 studs at wide receiver. That are right there with Hank Beatty.
Kobe Lane, he's back.
Yeah. The thing that I'm just worried about, Notre Dame is +8 turnover margin. And I know USC has a tendency to turn the ball over. And if Maava does cough it up or throw a couple interceptions, this 9.5 might not stand. But I think, USC, but they've only got 1 loss. Notre Dame, if they lose, they're done. So I know they're going to be coming in with a little more added motivation here for the college football playoff. This is really going to be their last chance with their schedule. So I know they got to win. I think Notre Dame wins, but I think it's within the number. I'm going to go 31-27. Notre Dame, but I'm taking USC in the points, 9.5.
Yeah, Notre Dame's like something left in the nation in yards given up to slot receivers. That's where Makai Lemon likes to play. I think that USC, having already gone to Illinois and Purdue, will try and fix some things that they're struggling with their road appearances going into the Central and Eastern time zone. I think the defense showed some havoc and changing the line of scrimmage against Michigan consistently with this one. This might be a heart pick, but I'm going to follow Matt's lead here. 9.5 is kind of leaning to the over, 61.5. I think both these teams are a really good offense. But at the same time, this got me a little bit worried on this one with the pick. Notre Dame's last 3 games have given up a total of 27 points. 13 to Arkansas, and then 7-7. So, but I just think that the USC has this game and an at Oregon game. They're being talked about as a college football playoff team. They need to win one of the 2 of these games. I'm not sure they'll win this game, but I think they can keep it within the number. So that's a lot of points to give to a really good USC team, in my opinion. And plus, it's with my heart, man. Illinois fans, you'd be the biggest USC fans you can possibly be this weekend because this game is huge for Illinois. If you want to make the college football playoff, USC finds a way to win. It elevates your win against them, and it also most likely helps Notre Dame from college football playoff contention.
We got to hope if USC does win that they lose another game because we don't want them to go on 11-1, and the Big Ten's not getting 5.
They go at Oregon, and they've got a game against Nebraska, so we'll see. So
we want them to show out and look good at least anyway. So the last game before we get to final, the lock of the week, we're going to go to the Holy War with Utah and BYU in the land. I don't know what they call Utah, but whatever. I guess it's holier than every place else. So the game's in Provo. Big noon kickoff is there. BYU just keeps us. I'm going to be honest with you guys. BYU hasn't impressed me all year, but they're undefeated. They keep sneaking away. They won overtime against Arizona.
Yep.
Yeah, they're if you look at their resume and their games, it's like they do just enough against even not very good teams. But they're ranked because they keep winning. Utah just got done smacking around Arizona State. I don't believe they had Levitt though, right? I don't think
They didn't.
They what?
They didn't.
Yeah, so they didn't.
He didn't play.
Yeah, he didn't play. So obviously, and 25-year-old Jeff Sims started for Arizona State.
Can't believe that guy is still playing.
He started for Nebraska 3 years ago as like a fourth-year senior then. So, yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. We'll go with you, Kev. Utah, BYU, 3.5 points in Provo.
Do I even have to give my pick?
I mean, this is a Kev special.
So where is it? It's
at BYU. It's at night. They're an underdog, and they've got a national broadcast. They got a game day or big noon, right? One of those two ones, and it's big noon with this one. Give me the Cougars, man. Plus 3.5. General principle game. Home dogs in prime time all day long. We're be fired up for this one. Like I said, the fighting Joseph Smiths are going to be all fired up on Dr. Pepper. They'll be ready to go, baby. Yeah, give me the Cougs plus the 3.5. General principle game. Real easy pick.
Are you?
No logic other than my logic.
Yep. And I've been on this show long enough to know that Kev is usually right in these situations. And I'm popping my Coke Zeros, and I'm going to order me a Tiger Tail at LeVar Edwards Stadium, and I'm taking the Cougs. Mine are plus 3.5. I think both of these teams are very similar in a lot of ways. They're both they're top 2 and 3 in scoring in the Big 12. They're both top 5 in Big 12 defenses. The only thing that scares me a little bit is this is a revenge game from last year when BYU went into Utah and beat them in a controversial way, to the point to where Utah AD came out and said, I was excited about being in the Big 12 until now, and just blasted the league. And so I think Utah will obviously, they're already going to be up for it because of the Holy War. But, I mean, they'll be out for blood here at BYU. But I can't go against my guy Kev and a home dog in prime time. So give me the Cougs plus 3.5.
By the way, I do know Utah, known for their dirty sodas, guys. There we go.
Go to Swig. Get you some sodas at Swig.
So it's a non-alcoholic beverage mixing sodas like a Diet Coke and a coffee creamer. Yeah. So I watched, was it Bert Kreischer? He was doing a podcast with some chick from out there, and she was like, try a Diet Coke and put the vanilla or the certain coffee creamer in it. And he poured it like right there in front of her, and it was like, he drank the whole thing and was like, honey, have you tried this? Yeah. It was pretty good. So the dirty sodas, that's right. So we got now we'll do the locks, right, fellas?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Matt, we're going to start with you since we had Kevin start the first pick this tonight. We'll start with you on your lock. If you haven't looked yet or know yet, then Kev, if you're ready, you can go. Whatever you want to do.
I'm good, Matt. If you need a couple more minutes to look.
I need a couple more minutes. I'm looking.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to go.
Okay.
First of all, you two look. So Kev mentioned this a little bit on Keeping It Orange and Blue, but I knew I was picking anyway. So I'm picking Duke to cover the 2.5 at home against Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech, even though they're ranked 12th, their defense very susceptible. Manny Diaz has things rolling right now defensively. They're really confusing teams. And offensively, they've been a juggernaut in the ACC. If you look around at what Georgia Tech, they gave up 20 to Virginia Tech last week, who's just soft. And Wake Forest put up 30 on them a couple weeks before that and literally gave the game away. They were up 30-12 or something like that in the end of the third quarter and blew it and lost in overtime. Wake Forest does have a decent offense, but this is just Duke covering 2.5 at home. Darian Mensah and Barcate, and he's got a load of weapons, and they're rolling right now. I was very impressed watching them play at Cal a couple weeks ago, and they put up 38-40 on Syracuse in the Dome. They dominated, and that was right after they went to beat Clemson. So I think this is going to be I'll say 35-27, maybe 35-24 type of game. I think Duke's going to beat Georgia Tech at home in Durham and help solidify even more how impressive of a win that was for Illinois in Durham.
Yeah, Georgia Tech's played maybe 2 full road games this year. The first opened the season at Colorado, I believe. We all know that Colorado's not a very good football team, but obviously they're better at home. They won that game by 7 points. But the other road game that they had was against Wake Forest, so they went to overtime. Wake Forest is not very good. I mean, we're talking about, they're just not a very good football team. So I love that pick. I don't Duke has shown they've been really good at home throughout the year. They lost 3 times in the last 3 years at home, with Illinois being included in that one of them. So I love that pick, Ryan. Matt, you want?
All right. Thank you, Matt.
I'm gonna go.
Go ahead.
Okay. I got a couple I was looking at, and I'll give it here in a little bit. But I'm going to go with my lock here. I'm going to go under 50.5 in Ann Arbor, the Washington Huskies and the Michigan Wolverines. I think, Michigan coming off a tough loss where, they really got almost embarrassed at USC 31-13. Their coach, Sharon Moore, has had his Carhartt shirt on all week and a hard hat, and we're getting back to basics. Yeah, we're lunch pail program. We're getting back to basics here. I think they've probably been through the ringer. I think that defense is really going to show up here against Washington team that can't move the ball and can't score, but it's different in the big house. And I don't see 50.5 making it. I like in this game more in the 20s, low 20s. So give me the under 50.5 Michigan, Washington.
All right. I like it. I'm going to stay in conference as well. Friday night, the Nebraska Cornhuskers travel to Minnesota to play a bad Minnesota football team. Frankly, they should have lost last week. 400.
Purdue. Oh, Barry Odom's got to be driving himself nuts, man.
I think Purdue might be Western this week. By the way, fellas, just.
That was my other one. They're 3.5.
Yeah, I like Purdue a lot in that game. I really like the UNLV Boise State over 68.5. By the way, UNLV last week against Air Force was 59-46 or some crazy score.
Well, it was my lock. They ended up winning, but they didn't cover.
Right.
They let Air Force, who doesn't throw the ball, run for 60 yards in the last minute to get to field goal range, and then they missed it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right, so the wheels on the bus for Minnesota would have come fully off with a loss against Purdue, because that would have put their bowl futures in big-time jeopardy, right? They got a couple games left in the season. Northwestern obviously doesn't look like a game they should lose, nor should they lose to Wisconsin. And they also have Michigan State. But they need to figure out a way to win a game they shouldn't. They also need to figure out a way to bolster some of the things that are going on. That game started at 5.5 for Nebraska and automatically jumped up to 9.5. Now it's down to 8.5. I still like it at 8.5. I think Minnesota keeps this within a touchdown. It's a home dog in prime time, which, I cover this all the time, but it's also a home dog in prime time on a non-traditional night, which I love the Friday night home dogs. They seem to rise up to the occasion. So I'm going to take Minnesota plus the 8.5. I don't think they win the game, but I think they keep it within the number. I think they give Nebraska everything they want. Another game that's sitting out there that's a funky line. Matt, one of the reasons why I liked Duke in that one is I think that's a pros versus Joe's line, right? Average Joe looks at the game, says Georgia Tech, undefeated, 12th in the country. as a 1.5-point dog now at Duke. Like, oh, who's Duke? They lost to Tulane. Illinois sucks because we saw that they got smashed in their 2 big games. I think it's a pro and Joe line. This one is like got some stinky cheese on it to me. Maryland goes to UCLA. UCLA's favored by 3.5. Has it just been a dead cat bounce for UCLA the past couple of weeks? Does Maryland find a way? Picking Maryland actually the past 2 weeks has worked for me. But traveling all the way across the country, I like UCLA in that one, but not enough to make it a lock. But I think that's a funny line, so I'm going to stay away from that one. But once again, Minnesota plus 8.5. Keep it within the number. And home dog and prime time, non-traditional night. Give it to me, baby. Couldn't stay away from it.
Love it. That's a sneaky little rivalry too between those 2 schools, and I think I'm with you. Friday night, one of the only games on TV that people will be watching. Minnesota will be ready, especially after last week. And yeah, a little sprinkle money lines here for underdogs. I love putting the money here on Purdue as an underdog here, or to win outright after Northwestern just went to Penn State, and they're coming off that huge win. I mean, for their program, it's a big win, getting James Franklin fired. Little bit of a letdown city spot here.
Tell you to lose that game. Oh my gosh.
I know. I really, really like that one.
Last drive.
The other one I was kind of looking at, I'm not going to play this, but SMU Mustangs plus 9.5 at Clemson. I know Clemson's kind of righted the ship a little bit here, but 9.5 against an SMU team that can score. I know they've been inconsistent, but I was just kind of looking at that one, not for money line, but just to cover.
Cal at home against a bad UNC team, 10.5.
Yeah. The other one I like is Ohio State team total over 34.5 against a Wisconsin team that can't stop a nosebleed.
I like the Wisconsin team total under, because it's got to be more than one. It's got to be more than point.
I agree. I mean, they've given up 37 to Iowa, 38 to Bama. I think they had 24 and 27 in Michigan and Maryland, but this Ohio State team can score 35 points against them. I think it's like, 24-28 nothing at half.
Yeah, I don't see it like this. They handled business against Illinois. They came in really well prepared. That's a really well coached football team. I think that they didn't get to rest their starters necessarily in the fourth quarter, but I like Ohio State. I like the spread. I like taking the Wisconsin team total under. I don't think that Wisconsin's on the verge of quitting, and that'll be interesting.
That'll be interesting when Bielema and the boys, Big Bert, go up to Camp Randall and see if Luke Fickle's still their coach. I don't care what the buyout is. That'll be interesting.
What do y'all think about Iowa -3 at Penn State?
I worry about what I worry about dead cat bounces in college football. You saw it with UCLA, saw it with Nebraska a couple of years ago. You see it pretty consistently after a coach is fired. Teams rebound. With a backup quarterback, though, I don't know. Like out for the season.
That's my point. You got no Drew Aller versus a good Iowa defense.
I expect Penn State's defense will clamp down for sure. They've got some good players, even though Tony Rojas is still gone. But I don't expect what Iowa can do offensively to do anything special. I mean, I know Northwestern's got 22, but there was turnovers involved in that, and I don't know. I mean, I do expect Iowa to win, but that line,
How about the FAU South Florida over under 73.5? Golly, man.
What's your pick,
hey, buddy?
What's your pick? Hey, look, that's Kevin. That's Matt, and this is the Fade the Duce crew. You guys probably heard
good?
4.5.
Who you picking?
Oh, give me the under.
What'd you say?
I know, crazy, right?
He said he's
Well,
got Hawaii.
last week-
He said he's got Hawaii over Colorado State.
Okay, I like that.
Even though it's in Fort Collins.
Matt, I'm going to have a little fun with that. I'm going to sprinkle some money on that over just for fun. 74.5. Just.
Well, last week, North Texas and USF, it was 99, 63-36.
Wasn't that a game for a little bit too? Like, I was like, I thought North Texas
It was close. I had the over, so I was watching. I watched the whole game, and I took
at halftime.
I took South Florida as well. Yeah, it was close at half.
It was tied. I
think they gave up like 28 points or something in the third quarter.
Yeah, we went to the second half tied, 21 all. It's 21-15 Tech, North Tech. Yeah, that game's gonna be crazy. So that'll be fun.
Let's see. Yeah, there's
Texas Tech minus 7.5 at Arizona State. I like that pick, Jason. Especially if Levitt doesn't play. I think Texas Tech is one of the best teams in the country, and not enough people are talking about them. That team is really good.
Yes,
that team is going to make the playoff and beat an SEC team. I'm going to tell you right now.
Yeah, Texas Tech's tough, man.
Two teams that aren't really being talked about: Texas Tech and Texas A&M, in my opinion. But everybody's waiting for the Texas A&M downfall.
Yeah, but I don't know how bad it's going to be with Elko. So he seems to be he doesn't have any of the Jimbo Fisher in him. I think he's all big.
It was a great hire by them.
60.5 against Arkansas there. That'll be interesting.
Man,
I like my Arkansas overs, even though it didn't hit easily.
Nebraska's going to be pissed when Matt Rule goes to Penn State.
That will be something.
Penn State will be pissed when Matt Rule goes to Penn State.
I want to be like, hold on a second. They don't like James Franklin because he couldn't beat ranked teams. Guess what Matt Rule can't do?
Yeah. What I think it's 28 in a row now at Nebraska.
Yeah.
Supposedly Franklin had another job lined up at the end of the year, and the staff got wind of it and said, "Screw it, we're going to make a decision and cut you down."
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have no idea where. It's just a rumor I heard on one of the college sports podcasts. I also heard that Penn State's top 3 candidates should be Nick Saban, Urban Meyer, and Curt Cignetti. How's it feel to lose?
Yeah.
Urban Meyer would be something.
Freeman. I'm like, why would Marcus Freeman leave Notre Dame for Penn State?
People are delusional.
I would say Curt Cignetti, though. Let's say Saban turns it down, Meyer turns it down. Matt Rule is like, hey, I want to keep losing to ranked teams here in Lincoln. And they're like, okay. Well, we wanted to offer, the hometown kid. Curt Cignetti to me is obvious, I think. So
I don't think he goes anywhere. I think he likes he's at a program that is a know-nothing program in the history of college ball other than him.
At least we won't have to Google. At least we won't have to Google him at Penn State.
You don't have to Google him now. You don't have to Google that dude now. That dude's a hell of a football coach, man.
He has grown on me.
He was one of Nick Saban's just like assistants, a career assistant. All those times they were winning, he had guys like Curt Cignetti as like a position coach.
Well, and then Curt Cignetti hires a Shanahan who's not even part of the Shanahan family tree to be his offensive coordinator, and the guy's like the next coming to Mike the Mike Shanahan coach for the Broncos. Like, what are we doing here?
I don't know, or the Kyle Shanahan coaching the Niners. I mean,
well, Kyle's Mike's son, and Mike Shanahan is not related to Mike or Kyle. It's weird.
And they went, and didn't he go to Eastern?
Yes,
Mike did. Mike, who coached the Broncos, did.
Yeah. Him and Sean Payton were buddies. Yeah.
And Callahan, who coached the Vikings.
Yeah,
not Callahan. Was it Callahan? No. Who coached the Vikings?
Mike Tice.
No, Brian something. There was it wasn't Callahan, but there's a Minnesota Vikings coach. The Eastern guys, you should watch the John Gruden got a package before the season from Eastern Illinois and listen to what he talked about.
Oh yeah.
And it was really cool. I mean, Eastern has some really cool tradition. So now No, he wasn't. Who's
John Gruden did go visit Eastern. I was on. So my stepdaughter goes there, and we were moving her in, and John Gruden was there for the Dayton Eastern Illinois game in the first week of the year. They played each other, and John Gruden went to Dayton, University of Dayton.
Brad Childress. Brad Childress.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. He was a solid coach, but yeah. So I knew that he went to Eastern, but I didn't realize that the Shanahan's not related to any of the other Shanahans.
That's
interesting. Well, crazy. Brad Childress got a start at Illinois.
The running backs coach, 78 to 80. Yeah.
Yeah, and the other one, Mike Zimmer, he's a Peoria guy. Another Illinois tie with the Vikings.
Yeah. Well, fellas.
Yep, that'll do her. So, we'll be back keeping orange and blue Sunday. Preview Washington for next weekend.
All right, one quick question for Matt before we hop on. Matt, what's your thoughts on Illinois preseason 17th?
I think it's right where they should be. I know the other ratings, the Kim Palm, they're 6, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, 6 and Kim Palm. Yeah.
I could see that too. I mean, I just I think they're going to take a little time to mesh just because they've had different pieces in and out of practice throughout this preseason. But I think they're going to be one of the most talented offensive teams in the whole country. With the Isevich brothers, I mean, he's going to grab a lot of attention down there, and they've got stud older guards now that know how to play the game effectively and efficiently. I think you're going to see a team that rivals the 05 team as far as being unselfish and assist.
A passing acumen. Yeah, I think what you're going to see, I think this team is going to morph. It's going to be the mob mentality where they are going to morph into the European style of basketball, of the unselfishness and ball movement, especially on offense. I think they'll be good enough on defense to be a really good basketball.
I think so too. I think this team will. The newcomers will be better than the newcomers last year, and they had 2, first round draft picks. 2 draft picks, but 1 first round.
They both went first round back to back.
Yeah, and Will Riley's been balling out, man. Yeah,
Ferris had a pretty decent day the other day with 10 assists.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. With his vision and how many? Okay, let's be honest. As much as people ripped Kasparis last year, how many wide open threes did our team miss? That he had just literally one arm cross court right to a wide open guy. How many of those NBA threes do you think are going to go in?
Hey, Ryan, I know we'll talk more about this. Ryan, you put Keaton Wagler up there, and I'm excited to see him. But the guy I think is going to have the jump that everybody's going to be like, man, I did not think this guy was that good of an offensive basketball player, Kylan Boswell. I think Kylan Boswell is going to score at a level that we haven't seen, but like that we're not expected to. I think he's going to hit 35% from 3, and that's going to be a big difference.
And if Jake Davis is your 10th or 11th guy, I think it's going to be a pretty damn good year because apparently he's Underwood said he's like one of their best shooters. So we'll see. I'm excited, man.
Mark Smith is the next coming in Jason Kidd. I love Brad Underwood. He's probably one of my favorite all-time Illinois basketball coaches, if not my favorite. It's like right behind Lou Henson. But, man, he is hyperbole central when it comes to talking about his players.
Ben Humberkhouse is the best shooter I've ever coached. 1 for 9, coming down.
He's elite.
He's elite.
1 for 9.
He's elite.
I think this team's going to be hyper efficient on offense, especially at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Hyper efficient.
Matt, especially with Mihailo Petrovic.
Yeah, I love it.
The Balkan.
I made that comment. I'm not saying that these guys are better in terms of draft stock or anything like that. I'm just more consistent. I know Kasparis was dealing with injury later on in the year, half the Big Ten season, and his stats kind of went down. But you just didn't know what you're going to get from him 9 in, 9 out after a while. And I think I think these guys will be more consistent from that standpoint.
Definitely. They're old. They're going to be long. And apparently there's a lot of athleticism, surprisingly. David Williams, a guy that, the Peoria coach David Williams, who he said he went and watched practice a couple of days ago, and he said, man, these guys are long, and there's some athletes in here, surprisingly.
They're long and they're strong and they're down to get the friction on.
Yeah.
He get his anaconda on. Yeah. That's going to do it. All right, bartender.
That'll be it.
Nightcap. Let's go. All right. So we'll see you Sunday for Keeping It Orange and Blue. Swami out.
ILL.